Welcome to the kyushunotabibito channel. My name is Alex. This is the first of a series of videos about my experience of living in Japan. In the announcement video of this series, I said that foreigners should make an effort to learn about Japanese culture, society, and language. The culture is completely different, values are different, and because of that, people think differently. In each video, I give you a hint that I hope will help you learn more about this country's society, culture, and language, and will help you integrate in your local community. Okay, here's the first hint. Learn Japanese every day. I will repeat. Learn Japanese every day. Let me give you some reasons why you should make an effort to learn the language. Reason number one, you live here. It means that you have all your daily life routines here, like going shopping, having your hair cut, going to the bank, and so on. Things will be a lot easier if you speak the language. Reason number two, you work here. It means that, well, probably you have a Japanese boss or Japanese workmates. Even if it's okay in your company or in your workplace to use English to communicate with your mates, try to make an effort to learn Japanese and talk with them in Japanese. I'm pretty sure they will notice your effort and they will be glad to help you. Learn from them. Another thing is, if you're looking for a job, you have no chance if you don't speak the language. Reason number three, if you don't work here, probably you study here. For example, you are a graduate student, and if you're a graduate student, you have an advisor. He will communicate with you in English in the beginning, but you should make an effort to learn the language and try to talk with him in Japanese. He will appreciate it, and your research mates too. Reason 4, safety. Japan is a country known by natural disasters such as earthquakes, tsunamis, and typhoons. Japanese are still working hard to help the victims of the last big earthquake, followed by a tsunami that happened last March in the northeastern area of the country. You may be asking yourself, what do natural disasters have to do with Japanese language? My answer is, Japanese language has everything to do with natural disasters. Unless you want to get yourself killed when they happen. In an emergency of a natural disaster, you have to know enough Japanese to understand the news, to have an idea of what's happening. You may have to run to an evacuation place, for example. If you don't understand enough Japanese to get this information and you are on your own, I think you have a good reason to start getting worried about your safety. That's life, and sometimes life can be cruel. Reason number 5, relationships. If you're involved with a Japanese person that speaks English, or your native language in case it's not English, don't be lazy and don't impose your language on your partner. Try your best to learn Japanese. Your Japanese partner will enjoy it a lot and will acknowledge and appreciate your efforts. In my opinion, I think that in many cases your partner won't tell you, but he or she expects you to learn the language. Learning Japanese can be an expression of love. So show that you love your Japanese partner and try your best to learn Japanese. Reason number 6, family. If you're married to a Japanese who can speak your language but you cannot speak Japanese yet, I think your spouse is really nice and in many cases secretly still expects you to learn her language. So, what are you waiting for? It's still time to catch up. Start now. Try your best. Learn from your spouse every day. It's gonna be fun, and your spouse will be really happy. If you cannot speak Japanese yet and you have children, you can always talk with them in your mother language, and your spouse can always talk with them in Japanese. They will have a bilingual environment, and that's wonderful. They will become bilingual. But based on my personal experience, I think you should make sure you can speak Japanese with your children. Yes. I think if you cannot do it, you are missing something from them. It's like you cannot communicate with their Japanese background, and you cannot communicate with their Japanese personality. I think it's very important. Something to think about. If your spouse is also a foreigner, study the language together. Try harder, especially if you have children here. Unless you send them to an international school, they will have to go to Japanese schools. They will learn Japanese, they will have Japanese friends, they will talk Japanese every day, all day long. If you have 2 or more children, it may happen that your children will suddenly start talking Japanese among themselves in front of you at home. I saw that happening to a friend of mine. Their children would start speaking Japanese for 20 or 30 minutes and he couldn't understand a word. Reason number 7, social life. As I said before in this video, the expat community is really good and very helpful, but you have to start making Japanese friends, or at least try. Try to start with your workmates, classmates, or relatives if you're married to a Japanese person. There are many social events in Japan where you can practice your Japanese and make Japanese friends. Making Japanese friends gives you a lot of insights. You can learn how your Japanese friends see their own society. You can also learn about Japanese values. And you can also learn how they see and what they think about foreigners. That's a very good and interesting experience. I chose 7 reasons only, but we could think of more.